What? See, I like this. This is kind of like mellow and interactive. I don't know what's the matter with me lately. I don't do everything absolutely perfect the first time around. I feel like I failed. I just see. That's why I have to talk about this. I have to talk about this. I'm so glad that like people are still listening to me because I've just been feeling so incompetent lately, and there's nothing I can't stand more than incompetence. And this is leading to a really extreme case of self-esteem or lack of self-esteem or whatever it is. And I mean, I'm not just faking it either. This is really the truth. This is really the truth, and I'm really freaking out. And my final exam is this Saturday, and I just hope I do okay, or else I'll like have wasted all my money on this class. That wasn't what I planned to say at all up here. I'm sorry, but I'm sure nobody minds, and as long as you don't give me an F. Because this is exactly what happened to me when I was giving an oral presentation, and it was at the end of the day. It was at the end of the whole day. We went an hour late just because we had to do 2 of these things, and there was a person ahead of me, and I was the last one, and everybody wanted to leave, and I didn't know what I was talking about, and I felt so stupid, and I feel so stupid right now because I just did the same thing. I tried to read something, and I totally fucked up. You think I'm great?
I think you're brilliant.
I don't even care if you're just saying that, so I'll like get off this stage here. Because the last time I tried to ad-lib, it came out so much better, and I thought if I came here and talked about this. Well, anyway, after that class, it just continued on and on. I was having a lousy day before that too, but afterwards I got on the bus, then 2 stops down from auditorium, these people start having a fight at the beginning of the bus. And I was sitting in the back, they were having a fight in the front, so the bus stops, and like all these cop cars and ambulances and fire engines come, and there's this guy sitting there with blood all over his arm, and I don't know what it was all about, but the bus wasn't going anywhere, so I had to walk to Harvard Square. I had to walk to Harvard Square, and I'm fuming because I'm just so disappointed with myself for not doing a good job, and it was the last one, and there were all these people before me that I had the chance to watch to make sure that I knew what to do. But I got back to Harvard Square, and I ran into this poet friend of mine in Harvard Square, and I had to tell him my latest theory about life, which is that life is like a coloring book, and we're all just like, oh, we can't change the structure, but we're like each a crayon, and we can just fill in the certain parts of the picture with whatever color we are. And it sounded so beautiful back then, but it's not doing anything for me right now. So I sat and talked to him till I had to go to the bathroom, and then I got up and went, and then Roger was playing over in front of the out-of-town news, and I smoked a cigarette and listened to him for a while, and then I thought I was all right. I thought I was all right, because I smoked a cigarette. I quit smoking a few months ago. I smoked another cigarette. I thought I was all right. Finally. And then, so I went back to my house eventually, like along the way. I went back to my house, and I was making some spaghetti, I think. I was boiling some spaghetti, and all of a sudden there's a knock on the door. And I go to the door, I look through the peephole. It's these 2 guys, these 2 old guys. They're trustees of the building, which means they're resident busybodies. And they're knocking at the door. So I open the door, no one else was home. The people I live with were in New York for the weekend, and these 2 guys are standing there. One who's like a small guy, he's like sort of small, and he's carrying a clipboard, and the other guy was this fatter, like he had like these rolls of fat that kind of like made his eyes slant a little bit, and he was like looking at me, because I know, see, they didn't expect to find me there. I think they didn't think I lived in that apartment. They'd seen me around, but they didn't know which apartment I lived in, okay? And so they wanted to know, they said, do we have a problem with parking here? I said, well, maybe. I said, I don't know. I said, I don't own a car. The people who do own the cars are out of town till tomorrow night, you know, so can you come back? And at that point, one of the cats made a dash for the door, and it's like kind of a gray area as to whether we're allowed to have cats or not. You know, so the manager says we can, the trustees say you can't, the landlord doesn't care, that kind of thing. So, like, I caught the cat, put him back in, and the fat guy's like, "You're not supposed to have cats here. It is forbidden. They will have to be removed at once." I said, "Did you come up here to argue with me? Because I'm like cooking food, you know, and I don't have time to argue." And he's like, "Well, argue with you? I'm one of the trustees of the building." And I said, "I don't know you." You know, the smaller guy was just wanted to get the thing with the parking straightened out, and then like, so I don't know. This was just like adding on, like stacking all on top. This is all after I had that lousy day at school. And then I don't even remember what happened the next day, but I don't know. I got rid of those guys. They just went away, and I never heard from them again. But yeah. So thanks for listening.